History Spotlight, brought to you by HEC Media and the Missouri Historical Society.
Hello, I'm Dr. Jody Sowell, President and CEO of the Missouri Historical Society in St. Louis. The Missouri Historical Society and HEC Media are teaming up to bring you History Spotlight. Each week we will introduce you to the people, places, and events that have helped shape our city's rich past. The 1911 St. Louis Cardinals became heroes while traveling to Boston for a 4-game series when their train derailed and they sprang into action. Public historian Adam Kloppe tells us how.
You know, baseball is an incredibly popular sport around the world, in the United States, especially in St. Louis. And people talk all the time about what role athletes should play. Should athletes be role models? It's hard to argue with the fact that the 1911 St. Louis Cardinals can serve as role models for people. In 1911, the Cardinals weren't having a particularly great season. They were doing better than they had in about a decade, but they still weren't a great team by any means. But off the field, one day they're traveling between Philadelphia and Boston for an upcoming game. And they're traveling by train overnight. Their car initially is supposed to be pretty much right behind the engine. But the manager of the Cardinals, Roger Bresnahan, he argues that, hey, my guys need rest, they're playing in a game. Can we move our cars to the back of the train? And the conductor, complies with that, moves the cars to the back of the train. They're all sleeping in their car. And then as the train is going through Bridgeport, Connecticut, the train derails and there's this huge accident. Dozens of people are hurt, almost 50 people are injured, 14 people end up losing their life in this train accident. It's this horrible, horrible thing. But the Cardinals' cars had not really derailed. Everybody in there is fine. They're jostled around a little bit. And Roger Bresnahan, the manager of the Cardinals, he realizes that these guys have a duty to help the people that are hurt. So he wakes up all of his guys and he says, we got to get out there and start working to save people. So these guys run out into the night, into this train wreck. They're mostly wearing pajamas and they're helping pull injured people out of the wreckage. Some of the guys end up finding axes and tools and chopping up pieces of the wreckage to help get people free. There's public health officials who said that without the efforts of those Cardinals players, a lot more might have succumbed to their injuries in this train accident. That it was really the actions of this team that helped a lot of people survive. We can talk about whether we should look up to athletes for their role on the field, but again, it's just hard to argue that the role that these Cardinals took off the field isn't something that we should all look up to.
Next week on History Spotlight, we will share the story of the country's first black female millionaire and her connection to St. Louis.
To learn more about the Missouri Historical Society, visit mohistory.org.